Hey everyone, welcome back to Draco Does It. Today we're going to be changing some suspension, some front shock slash struts, quick struts, whatever you want to call them, on a Mazda 3 2005 2.3 Sport. So came with the Tokikos. I found some replacements for them and we're going to put them on. I'm going to give you the sizes and show you how to do it. Alright, here we go. Alright, so the alignment's been a little bit off and it's been pulling to the left, and we're going to go ahead and take these guys out and replace them with some quick struts I got. Boom. So it's the wife's car, need to get it back on the road. So and then make sure, I'm going to pull this other one out and we'll show comparisons, but you need to make sure you have the right side. So sometimes they'll be labeled, or you can tell from the part number. This one has an L, so there's a L right there. You can tell that it's the left side or driver's side. So there's different ways and different shocks, but that's one way on these ones to tell. So these are pretty much the tools you're going to need. You're going to need an impact wrench with a 21mm socket for the lug nuts, crowbar, rubber mallet, piece of wood, flathead screwdriver, a zipper or a ratchet with a 14, open end 14, and 17, depending on the bolt for the bottom. The top bolts are 17 or 14. The top bolts are 14. Everything else is 14. You might also need an Allen key to hold the sway bar nut, which is also a 14. So this is what you need. Alright, so you got this bottom bolt, which I said I don't think is the original one. So you have this one down here, which probably needs to be replaced. This doesn't look original. And then up underneath the hood, you have these three 14s. And this is just a plate that you'll need to reinstall. And you'll have this sway bar bolt, which is a 14, going down to the sway bar. And you just have to make sure you take out pop your brake line out of here. Here you can see the L, and you see the L on the new shock as well, which is good. And there's this guy down here you don't want to mess up, your ABS sensor. They're really easy to break and they're plastic. So you can just start by popping that out, taking your ABS sensor off without breaking it. There we go. Yep, this one has a clip. So we're going to go ahead and pop this clip out. And I'm pulling with my hand, but you can get pliers and pull that guy out too. And then this just slides out. So now you have all your lines out of the way, the sensor all disconnected. Now you can get to this one, the bottom one, and then we'll go up top. So and then if it starts spinning in the middle, you're going to have to get an Allen key. So I think this one's spinning. So there's an Allen key head up in here. And you can stick the Allen key in there and then use the open end to pull the rest of it off. So let's get that Allen key. And we'll do that. Okay, so I went ahead and got my Allen keys. And so you can hold it if it gets stuck with the Allen key, and then use your open end to get it off. It's a little rusty too. You might want to spray it with some PB Blaster, some WD-40, and there's some tension on it, which doesn't help. So now it's all the tension's off. So I can go ahead and just get this guy out of here. And take this bracket off, put it to the side. Now we're going to focus on the bottom bolt down here. I think this is probably a 14. Then I'll get the other side. There we go. I'm gonna go ahead and take this bolt out. Okay. And now what you can do, leave the top bolts bolted, but you can push right here. Don't hit the ABS sensor, not good. You want to get something just thin enough to put right in here without hitting that sensor. And you might even have to hit just like this right here with the hammer. This is where the rubber mallet comes in, because we want to do this to get this shock down. We can get this arm off the shock. So let me see how this goes. there. down, come right out. This puts some pressure on it here, so we're gonna pop that out as well. So crack those free. I'll put the torque specs in the description when we reassemble, and I'll put it on the screen. Then we'll zip these out. Sounds like the shock prematurely fell out. I got both hands recording on them, so here's your 3 bolts for the top. They're 14s. And yep, the old one fell out. So we have the new one right here, and we can see L here, the brackets match up, this all lines up, and the mounting holes for our items. So, and then the back side actually is where it says, it said L on it, right there. So we know it's for our left side, and that's how you can tell when you get stuff from Detroit Axle or whatever. So it takes 2 hands. You gotta hold the shock on the bottom here, and then the other hand you can just line up the bolt holes. Just do them hand tight as much as you can. So we'll just snug them up, all hand tight. So I actually found it easier to put this in from the sway bar first before you put the bottom in. Hopefully you can kind of see what I'm doing, but essentially just doing this. And torque this down to spec. I'm gonna wiggle. It should wiggle right on. Now, the other secret is that you gotta line up this tab in here. There's a slit, so you need to make sure this slides right in. That's what keeps the alignment. All right. Like I said, I'll put the torque descriptions on the screen and in the video description. And then torque them down to spec with a torque wrench. Then we're gonna go back down here. We're gonna make sure this is all the way up, and check the bottom out point. And we have some more to go, so it's not all the way up. It won't let you put the bolt in if it's not all the way up. So you want to make sure it's all lined up. And so after that, you can tighten down the bottom. I'm going to torque it down to spec. So we've got the bottom one tightened. We got the ABS sensor back in. We got the clip in for the brake line. The sway bar nut tightened. The 3 bolts on top, the 14s tightened. Now he's got to put the tire back on. Thanks for joining me on another episode of Draco Does It. That's how you do the front suspension on a 2003 Mazda Sport 2.3 liter. Thanks. See you next time.